The letter arrived by email on a Friday afternoon at 4:53, 7 minutes before the end of the working day. It informed me that I was being called to a disciplinary hearing the following Wednesday regarding concerns about my conduct. The concerns were described in 2 lines, vaguely. The hearing was in 5 days. The letter had been sent by my line manager. I read the ACAS Code of Practice on disciplinary procedures that evening. Then I read my employer's own disciplinary policy, which was in the staff handbook I had been given when I joined and had kept a PDF copy of. By the time I had finished reading both documents, I had identified 7 procedural failures in the letter alone. The ACAS Code, which employers are legally required to follow in broad terms with deviations potentially increasing any tribunal award by up to 25%, sets out a clear process. The employee must be informed in writing of the nature of the allegations. They must be given sufficient time to prepare a response. They must be told of their right to be accompanied at the hearing. They must be given copies of any evidence that will be considered, and the investigation should be completed before the hearing is called. My letter had none of this. It was vague on the allegations, gave me 5 days' notice, did not mention the right to be accompanied, did not provide any evidence, and, as I established by asking directly, no formal investigation had been completed. I wrote back on Monday morning. My response was detailed and specific. I set out each procedural failure by reference to the relevant clause in the ACAS Code and the corresponding clause in the company's own policy. I asked for the hearing to be postponed until the correct process had been followed. I asked for full written details of the allegations, copies of all evidence, and a minimum of 7 working days' notice of any rescheduled hearing. I also confirmed that I would be bringing a companion to any rescheduled hearing and asked a confirmation for confirmation that this right would be accommodated. HR responded within 24 hours. The tone was noticeably different from the original letter. They confirmed the hearing would be postponed, that full written details of the allegations would be provided, and that the process would be restarted in line with the company's policy. The restated allegations, when they arrived, were specific enough to prepare for. They related to a disagreement I had had with my line manager 4 weeks earlier about a project decision. In the original letter, they had been characterized as serious misconduct. In the restated version, now that they had to be specific, they amounted to a heated conversation in which I had challenged my manager's decision in front of other team members. That was a significantly less serious allegation than concerns about conduct. The rescheduled hearing was a different experience from the one they had originally planned. I attended with my union representative. I had prepared a written statement addressing each specific allegation. I had brought notes from the meeting in question. I had a witness, a colleague who had been present, who had provided a written account that corroborated mine. The outcome was a first written warning for the manner in which I had raised the concern, rather than the content of the concern itself. First written warnings are the lowest formal sanction in a disciplinary process. They expire after 12 months. My line manager was given separate guidance about how to handle disagreements in team settings. I appealed the warning. The appeal found that while my conduct had been imperfect, the manner in which the disciplinary process had initially been conducted had been procedurally flawed and that the outcome should have reflected this. The written warning was removed from my record. Know your employer's disciplinary procedure. Know the ACAS Code. If either one is not being followed, say so in writing before the hearing takes place. The procedural rules are not a formality. They are your protection. Has a workplace process ever been used against you without following its own rules? Drop it in the comments. And if you want more complete stories with no part 2s that never come, follow the page. New story every day.